basically for me, all backside I'm trying to do is stop Sheldon Rankins upfield charge, two hands to his chest plate. I know I got time getting back to 92. He's so wide and so up the field where I don't have to worry about really speeding everything up to try and get my job done. So I'm go ahead and checking off for the center, make sure he can get up there and there's not a bunch of upfield penetration, and then I'm just hinging back, finding 92 wherever he happens to go.
What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Tape Talk. Today we got Rob Havenstein, absolute Rams legend, played there 11 years, just retired this past year. Now, he did deal with a little bit of an ankle injury, so we didn't see him as much, but dude, he's still an absolute GOAT. So thank you so much for coming on this show. We're going to dive into some film. Rob Havenstein, you want to take a moment to introduce yourself for those who might not fully know you?
Sure. Yeah. No, thanks, Peter. Thanks for having me on. Yeah, Rob Havenstein played 11 years with the Rams. 10 years with the LA Rams, and 1 year, yeah, 1 year with the St. Louis Rams. So I was a lifer there, four-time team captain, and kind of a blue collar captain. I like to call myself. Don't have any of the Pro Bowls, All Pros to go ahead and slap onto my name, but teammates deemed it worthy for the captain thing, and just enjoyed the heck out of my time. Recently retired, so I'm enjoying that too.
Well, let's get into some film. We're going to have three parts: the pass sets, general pass protection, and then run blocking. What I wanted to really cover for the part one was all of the pass sets, how you pass set against different looks. So, or in different situations. So like right here, this is just a true one-on-one pass set. There ends up being no tight end help, and then you're just pass setting. So just a general one-on-one basic pass set. What are you looking at? What's going on in the head? What's the technique? Run me through a general one-on-one pass pro rep.
Sure, this one's going to be a little different just because they have the load front on the left side, and the way we picked it up last year is we slid our backside guard anytime we didn't have two to the back, so there's no two threats with a back to pick up. And so mine's going to be my set here, knowing that 69 Kevin Dotson, or I'll call him K-Dot from here the rest of the time, he's sliding left and he is heading left, is that I still have 44 to deal with right there. So I'm going to take mine a little bit more vertical, eyes on him, and I want to get a good explode back off the ball. My whole thing of pass protection, on whether it's true one-on-one or I have a threat to my inside where I got to drag a wide three or a bugged up backer, would be I want to be the first one off the ball. I want to be offsides almost 60 to 70 times of the game, so they can't call it every time. And, it's not super egregious, but I'm basically offsides every time. So I'm getting depth. I'm kind of seeing peripherals. 44 takes a little step at me, but, nothing where he just kind of brings him really into my vision. So I'm getting out. I'm going probably 1, 2, 3, and then as long as I'm out in time and phase, I want to start settling. Kind of slowing my feet to then go ahead and start picking them up and going faster whenever I need to on the point of contact. And as Peter mentioned, I had a little bit of a ankle injury. I'm actually just got surgery on it about a week ago. So my brace right there, not quite what it should be for the NFL. You can see my leg kind of buckle, because everything's good. He's going two-hand power. I feel good. I got inside hand leverage, which I think is a very underrated thing. So rather than going two hands inside, if I can take one and wrap one to the outside, whichever one, that deep, I always want to wrap the right side or wrap my outside hand. That way I can kind of take away that double swipe.
What do you mean wrap? Wrap your outside hand.
Yeah, so wrap basically means instead of throwing a punch from, elbow tuck to straight out to his chest, to me that looks almost like kind of some of the dummies that all these guys in the offseason, they got the dummies with the arms, right? So they're throwing double swipes, cross chops, all that stuff. But as soon as he starts to go in timing, now I drop this a little low, basically spinning, kind of flipping my hand around it to again grab that shoulder pad where I have a handle on something, and it takes away the double swipe. What you get weak on is going to be true power, which Latu had a great game this game, and so he he transitions into power, and that's where I'm weak. I was betting on myself, being that, hey, I can sit this down, no problem. And as I was kind of still learning through my ankle injury, is man, I can't really sit that down quite like I had in years past. And so these are all just reps I was kind of learning from. But if you're talking
Yeah.
basic one-on-one stuff, I want to take away something of his, and then I know what his responses have to be if I'm taking something away.
So first off, it is the right foot, correct? It's a little hard to tell on
Yeah,
footage.
yeah,
So when you said it buckled, it's like right here.
right there. Yep,
Yeah. Okay.
yeah.
Man.
Especially on the double flop. So even kind of right before that.
Wow. So that's going to be a consistent theme that we look at. I kind of want the audience, everybody, to constantly think about that, because you got to be constantly thinking about it in game. It's something that is constantly worked around, and so we're all going to have to think about it and think about how you kind of have to work around it. Now we move into play number 2, and on this rep, you just take a little bit flatter of a pass set. It's not quite as deep. I want to understand why it's a little bit flatter, because I don't really see too much different, but I want to hear your thoughts on that.
Number one thing is the guy you're playing across. Watching guys like kind of Lane Johnson and the kind of the elite of the elite that Trent Williams is, they kind of set the way they set. They still got different variations, but like their base set shows up way more often than a game plan that I would put in. So Latu, a young guy, see how his head's kind of up, and he's kind of, as he's stepping, he's kind of moving here. Not seven here, but Latu on the Indianapolis Clips. He's got a lot more reactivity to him. Seven, sorry, I can't remember his name. No offense to you, bro, but he was a little more rigid in the film study I did. And so his initial reaction, if somebody went and got on him, didn't show up, and it was something that I thought I could go ahead and take advantage of. So in years past, I would have crossed over a little more to stay a little more square on that first step. So
What do you mean crossover?
So crossover, I would have taken that right foot almost half, just basically got up on my toe, and then as fast as I could, bring that left foot over to where I am crossed, and then I can swing that right foot back square with a square right shoulder rather than kind of being open right here.
Like that?
Uh,
Like you want to be like this or like this with your shoulders?
yeah, basically still parallel to the
Okay.
to the 10-yard line right there.
Gotcha.
And that basically kind of shuts down any inside move there. But I felt like I was flat enough. And same thing kind of with the hands here. Kind of wrapping the right hand, left hand shoots. I was a little high. Um, left hand is shooting for position on that chest pad. And then once he kind of commits into me, that's the position that I like, because then I can go ahead and try to get my weight is my center of weight back under me with at least one hand of good leverage. Squeeze those elbows. Boom, you got a handle right there. He's on my chest. They're never going to call holding with that as long as my feet stay with it. So it was the biggest thing was that is who is the rusher to me? Because everyone does something a little differently. Some guys are great at everything. Some guys may lack a little bit in places, and it was like in those kind of gray areas where it's like that's how I'm going to win my matchup. And so yep.
your initial step here is it's that flat angle, but you use it against guys that it's less likely you see them break in like this.
Yeah. So some guys, I mean, you can kind of classify guys into like truly reactive guys or guys who you can almost tell they want to go 1, 2, 3, jab inside cross chop, or 1, 2, 3, throw a double. Or if he sets vertical, 1, 2, 3, he sets vertical, boom, I'm going to power. Where it's like everything is a timing thing. So if I can break that timing early and often, then it kind of keeps them off their game. And, I have to be as perfect as I can for 60 plus 70 snaps. And so I want to keep them as uncomfortable as possible. The same thing they're trying to do to me, keep me as uncomfortable as possible. And especially with slide 2, see K-Dot's eyes there with the tight nose and kind of knowing right there. I know I have immediate help to my inside. So I was like, all right, that's That's number one, where it's like, all right, I have a chance to go get on this guy right away. And if he does convert to power when he
Gotcha.
sees like a flatter angle, which most guys tend to do, then I got help. I can die slow. 6'9's coming across and helping me out.
Gotcha. Awesome. Love it. Okay. Next play, we go back to the Colts game, and this is once again it's going to be continuing to talk about similar aspects for the first 7-8 plays. But this one, you get tight end chip help or just tight end help this time. I want to understand how that impacts your pass sets compared to what we've already gone over. And like this one, you maintain a little bit of distance. Can you talk a little bit about pass setting with the tight end?
Yeah. So in our offense and the way we have taught it, especially this past year in our room, was it changes your set 100% of the time. Every time you have tight end chip help, you are setting flat and aggressive, and you're getting to a point, and you should be stopping. Basically, what we want to do is to be able to put our hands. This clip doesn't represent it, but we want to be able to put our hands on that guy before the tight end leaves. So I'm in position. He kind of floats out a little bit. I didn't want to go chase him. So I just stopped and then got to a position where I can go ahead and grab and be able to kind of run. And
But every time it's that flat aggressive angle. Does that change with play action versus just standard dropbacks? Does that change at all, or you're just always going flat on with tight end help?
now it's kind of up to the player's discretion. It's if you look at the playbook and be like, hey, what do we want to do? Boom, flat, go get hands on so you can start the fight earlier. Obviously,
Yeah.
there's things that happen. There's just feelings in a game, how you're playing, how you're moving, how the body's going, how things are going. What was Latu's kind of plan on me? You know, is that advantageous for a position to me being super flat on the line with a whole bunch of distance? So it can change, and basically whatever decision you try to make or whatever decision you make, you need to have a reason why, and then from there, our Coach Wendy, would just be like, okay, you know, you made a decision, but at the end of the day, we want to be as aggressive as possible. You know, everyone talks about pass pros, not passive, and so any of the little chances where we get a chance to go ahead and get on guys early and not have them feel comfortable and doing all their sweet moves and everything like that, we want more times like that.
Okay. Makes sense. Now, we also look at another tight end, and I think this one represents more of what you were talking about, how you immediately get close. Can you explain the strategy there? You said you got to have a reason. What's the reason here?
So the reason there, you can see me kind of check in pre-snap too before Tyler Higbee motions over, just kind of my head turned.
Oh,
So
yeah.
when that chip is coming on the run, it's a little unsettling because it's like, did he forget to send him? It's just you can't see him, so it's just
Does
trust.
that happen often? Like somebody forgets to get sent?
No, not often. Matthew Stafford's a stud. You know,
Okay.
he's. You talk about total complete command, but hey, you know what? Stuff happens. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so it was just kind of one of those. I'm gonna give a little check here, and then 52 is Samson Ibukam, and he was on the Rams before, so I've had a lot of reps versus Samson, and so that's something as when I knew Tyler was gonna motion over and give me a little help. 52 is not wide enough, and then kind of on the snap as I'm heading out there flat, which was kind of similar to the Latu rep. 52 stays on his angle, right? So tight end's gonna be able to be on the outside. I'm coming from the inside. It's gonna be almost a ram sandwich, right? With Latu, he kind of played out away from me, so I was like, I don't want to go chase him. I'm just gonna sit and wait. 52 stayed on his angle, so it's like, okay, let's just continue on. Same thing even with the hook, just basically going to get hands on. Probably could have done that a little more technically, but when things are happening, a tight end's hitting them from inside, maybe things get a little messed up. It's where I'm trying to get my hands and then as quickly as I can get them back to these handles right here where the shoulder pads meet the chest plate. There's always a little bit of space up in there where you can kind of fish your hands up and in and get a good hold, but it's inside the chest, not outside on the back.
Oh, wait, which area is it? Like right in here?
Right in there, but on his chest plate. So like
Gotcha.
everything's super tight, but because it's tight, it stretches up, and usually there's a little bit of space there, right where the shoulder pad kind of comes here up into the chest plate. So I'm always
Yeah.
trying to hit that either bicep and like slide my hand into it, or hit the chest plate and then kind of slide, like rotate my wrist back around to get a good grab.
And you got those long ass arms, so you're able to get right in there and
Yeah, the height
get in
definitely
that
helps with
chest.
that, but I mean, for 6'8", I should have way longer arms than I actually.
Really?
Oh yeah, no, you talk about Mita Whitworth. He would, yeah, it's it on the his arms crazy long. He could tie his shoes standing up, and that's something. I felt like I had those little baby T Rex arms for my height, but it was longer than everyone else just because I was 6'8".
Yeah.
I'm
Do
6'8".
you ever get outmatched in arm length, or
Oh yeah,
did
all
you
the
ever?
time, all the time.
Really? Who were some of the guys?
Oh man, I mean, I bet if you looked up Will's arms, right,
Will Anderson?
yeah, he's got
Yeah.
crazy long arms. There's a couple guys, I mean, with 34, 35-inch arms and things like that, and so I want
What
to
are
say
yours at? Like 33?
33 and a half or something like that. So
I
nothing
got you.
crazy. Luckily, I didn't get the discrimination that like a Will Campbell got coming out trying to play tackle, but
Yeah.
not,
I don't think they worried about it. Well, you're 6'8".
right, yeah. Every time I saw that argument, I was like, man, my arms aren't long. Like he's gonna be fine. But that's neither here nor there.
All right. Well, on this one, you really set aggressively to the outside. I think this the crossover that you were talking about, but Will, I mean, he dips right back to the inside. I know you have K Dot right there to help out, but I also thought you had chip help from Kyron here. So to me, it doesn't make as much sense to set to as aggressively to the outside. To me, it would make sense to funnel to the outside. What is your reasoning here?
Yep. So in our system, running back help is a luxury. It's never counted on. So this is a set I always liked to do. It's that first initial set back vertical and then go get them. Different than the one with the Titans where it's like, hey, just go now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So it's not the same like crossover that you were talking about. It's slightly different. When do you use it differently? What's the reasoning?
This is probably a third down. Same thing. I know K Dot's got the G out there, so he's got open eyes to our gap. No one's in a threatening position from a linebacker position. Shazier is kind of up a little bit, but nothing crazy. And so, same thing you were talking about is funneling him to the outside. I'm funneling him to the inside. That's the quickest way to get beat on this type of set is inside. But I know I have K Dot's eyes right away, and I'll let K Dot know that too. Like as we're going to the huddle, be like, hey, you know, if I get a good look here, I'm jumping. I need your eyes. All right, cool, gotcha. He knows he's gonna set. Our center's gonna get over there aggressively, and then his eyes are there, basically waiting for it. So it's like, man, if I'm gonna get beat quick, I want to make sure it's quick to where my help is, and that's another part of my game. It's like, man, try to use my help as much as possible because some of these guys out there on the edge definitely warrant where you're gonna need some help.
Awesome. I love that explanation. Thank you. So on this play, we just get the drop back from pure under center. It's like that West Coast style.
Yep.
And you kind of have that like sprint out set. I mean, it
Mm-hmm.
is as aggressive, I think, as you can possibly pass set. Can you explain how you pass set on those dropbacks from pure under center? Because the Rams use them more than a lot of teams.
Yeah, that was kind of a new wrinkle, so it was almost something I was learning too. Um, you got to stand up D end right here. He's in proximity where I can take my footwork and hit him on my third step where I'm coming to balance. I know it looks like I'm leaning a lot, but as that right foot comes down, if he were to swap my arms, hopefully I'd still be able to
Yeah.
keep
That
my
butt's still back.
yep, my butt's still back. And basically the biggest thing is I'm so inside out right here. Now
Yeah.
I got K dot slide help too, so I probably could have been a little bit more chesty, but
Yeah.
I know I wanted to go ahead and get hands on. So boom, I got something on him. I feel his long arm, knock that down, and as soon as he turns the edge, it's just a sprint to the spot. And I'm so inside out, and I know the quarterback's drop point, especially under center, is going to be a little shallower than in gun, where
Yeah.
I can run him around all day. And then even if something happens where I fall down, same thing. I got K Dot's help to the inside, so.
So for all those watching, essentially what you're saying is like under center drop point is like maybe this area on the field, like right here. Shotgun drop point would be what, like right about here. So that wide angle more likely to get here than here, which is why you want to funnel him more to the outside. That
Hmm.
correct?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay,
and
understood.
just go get hands on as fast as I can. And when I have my hands on, I can I can feel him a little better, know where I'm going. As soon as he commits one way, I know where I have to go. Even with that one, it's a disengage and to then run at an angle to the spot where he needs to be. And if I'm already there, then I'm gonna win
I gotcha.
right
I love
there.
that. Love
Get
that.
up.
That's smart blocking. Okay. Now we go to the Texans,
Yep.
and this one is our last pass set question. The final kind of variable that we haven't covered is just true pass set against the play or while running the play action from under center. How does that change to the true drop back from under center to shotgun? All of it.
Yeah, so this is going to be a little bit harder of a play action. You're getting a real ball fake here between Matthew and Kyron. Number one, you look out there and it's not 51 out there right now. It's a backup D lineman, and that matters. That matters a whole
Yeah.
bunch. There's a reason why Will's a superstar. And this kid 92, I remember his film actually looked really good from last year. He was kind of head down and forward and going and build up a lot of speed, momentum, and go. So I was like, all right, well, he's going to be a candidate to go ahead and get hands on right away. Boom, try to get my hooks right there. That's that big
Yeah.
crossover right there that I was talking about. And you see on my third
Ah.
step, boom, boom. On my third step, I'm coming to balance to where now I can go throw hands, try to get a hook in. Luckily, I got two right there. I'm a little bit on top of the pad from where I want to be on my inside hand, but I can now kick my feet back. And now he's
Yeah.
playing tall, and I'm already tall, so I live in the tall space more than all these small guys. So I want to stand them up because I'm going to be stronger standing up than them completely standing up because I'll still have a little bit of knee bend. And if they're trying to push me that way, like just physics kind of don't really work that way. So, uh,
Yeah.
and with this one, with me being on the open side, I was like, well, let's just go get on him and, see what happens.
You never found that you often get called for holding here. I mean, I figured you don't because you do that all the time. But like, you
Yeah.
just they don't ever call it.
No, because uh, a ref told me this a couple years ago in training camp because we brought him in and they had this big thing about what they called the lobster block. And I was like, man, it's just such a stupid name for it, first off. But it's like kind of two hands on almost on top of the pads where you're grabbing that. You're not grabbing the back where it's pure restriction, but it's like maybe not so much in the chest area, but more up here. Every defensive lineman's, going to say that's a hold. And whether it is or not, it's a legal hold.
And every O lineman's gonna say it's not a hold.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's just the game we play.
Yeah.
But what this ref told me is that holding is a violation of the feet. So as long as I got hooks in and I can go ahead and keep my feet moving to where he's either in my chest or on my frame, then it shouldn't be called a hold. Shouldn't. Still might,
I gotcha.
but
Yeah.
I'm gonna take the risk. I'm gonna take the gamble because it's just such a good place to have a handle on the guys. Because if you got two hands to the chest, hands like this, you're just waiting for them to get hit off or anything. There's nothing to grab until
Yeah.
until you turn and kind of get into those little crevices. You can grab the belts that go around the shoulder pads and stuff like that, but it's for me the handles were always either trying to slap on top of the bicep or top of the pads if I'm going real aggressive, or in like drop back pro where it's like I'm trying to hit that bicep area and then slide and try to grab something,
Yeah.
whether it's a pinky or not. That's why my pinkies are all jacked up because sometimes you only clip one of that, and so it's the only thing hanging on to a jersey while he tries to tear away, where you can hopefully try to get a hand back, but that's just
And it just stays in there, gets ripped apart.
yeah, pretty much. So
Love it.
mine aren't too
Love
bad,
it.
but they're a little swollen at the joints.
It happens. It comes with the job.
Right.
All right, so now we move into the real pass pro, just general pass protection advice from Rob Havenstein. And here we see, is this a full slide or a half slide? I'm not 100% sure what you would call it, but you get four sliding to the left. And my question, why do you have four sliding to the left? You get the three showing the blitz from the offense's right, and then Kyron is the one who it looks like was going to cross key to this guy.
Yep.
And I'm just wondering, why was the slide like that? That makes no sense to me.
It's all tendencies based on what the defense provides. These defenses, they try to mask so much stuff nowadays where it's like, hey, if 33 is bugged up, it's probably coming from the field. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so it was just one of our main protections that we use. We use a lot of crossback stuff. So if it ever is a man pressure, Kyron's going to come across the ball. Say Cody Barton 50 has Kyron in man to man, so he has to then cross the center in the line of scrimmage and then add on to Green Dog and go blitz. Rather than if Kyron just stays off the edge, 50 hits it downhill. Now everything happens a little faster.
So that's the strategy behind you guys always cross king. I see you do it all the time.
Yeah, I mean, believe me, it's probably something I can't even explain that well because Sean McVay is just such a smarter guy than me. Where it's like he tries to tell you the why and all the time, but it's like sometimes you got to be a little ignorant as an offensive lineman. Just like, okay, we're doing it this way. I'm not playing center. Centers are way smarter than me. They all know that answer. I'm just a lowly tackle. I know which way we're going, all the calls, and hey, I'm good with that. I'll try. I tried to learn as much as I could. Just to
You got the tall frame over there.
Right. Yeah. I tried to learn as much as I could just for general football understanding. But if it was ever, whenever it came down to it, I learned pretty early in my career. Like, hey, it was just one quick story. I tried questioning a center. I was wrong. He said, "I appreciate you trying to learn it. Just do what I say." I was like, "Okay, I'm gonna keep that with me the rest of the time." And that was from one of our old centers, John Sullivan. So he told me that, and I knew what I didn't know, and so okay, cool, got it. I'm gonna listen to you from now on, Captain. I got it.
I love that. Okay. I would spend a ridiculous amount of money to sit down with freaking Sean McVay one-on-one. I want to hear that guy explain some football to me.
Man, it is incredible. I mean, he is special.
God, I got to meet that guy someday. All right. Now we get into emotion here, and this is going to be interesting to hear from you because the Rams use so much motion. And like right here, you can kind of see, I think that's Jahad Campbell. He drops off as this motion comes across from the receiver. And then you initially were going to go out to block him. Like it kind of looks like he was going to come right here. How do the motions change your assignments? Are you aware that motions are coming right to you? You might have to adjust on the fly. How does that impact your game?
Yeah, so right here, we just got a little motion. Jay Witt's coming over, 88. He's gonna stop, put his foot in the ground at the snap, and then start screaming across. I'm pretty sure it's the keeper. So I know I got the widest. He's on the line, and whether he's kind of walks off like that or not, unless he's fully dropping and he's actually like kind of apexed out, he's still my guy, my assignment. And so my assignment is to run the best play fake I can. So it's like, all right, I'm gonna run out there really hard.
Yeah.
Just to, hey, maybe I think that's Blankenship in the back. Maybe his eyes are wrong, and he's it just feels more like run rather than maybe take two steps, pull off, and all of a sudden everybody starts turning around, grabbing crossers as they're coming back. So it's like I'm just trying to give the best sell I can right here. I know K-Dot's coming immediately out to Nolan Smith. Coleman's got the big job on on Jalen Carter right there, an unbelievable player. But same thing, he knows where his help is. 67 Justin Dedich, he's going to post and come down, eyes down right away with as good of a run sell as he can while still being there for a center and not selling out his backside tackle. And so it's just kind of the unit working together. And then we do have to know when a motion affects our assignment or affects second level responses. We have to know where those are coming from so we can expect, or not expect, but anticipate what second level responses are going to be. But this one,
so like,
go ahead.
Let's just say this is just like a halfback dive or something.
Yep.
And this motion comes across, he moves like back here. That's the kind of stuff you're saying that like you really have to be aware of that and know more than likely before. Is this before the game that you got to know it, or this is right before the play that you're seeing it? Like, is it a film study thing or kind of just a reactionary thing?
It's all film study. You better have the answers before you get there to the game. Now, if it's a different wrinkle, you got to have the flexibility to go like, hey, listen, this guy's unfolding. As soon as he does it, whether K dot steps on K dot steps on a combination with the head up to him, and then I just stick on Nolan,
Yeah,
or me and K dot come out on a double. This is something that if it's like, hey, this is in-game adjustments, we can do it on
gotcha.
the field. We can go talk about it on the sideline. Hey, how do you want to do this, coach? Boom, bing, boom. We want to do it this way. But with stuff like this, it's all drawn out and spelled out for us in the meeting room. And so you take the meeting room, you study, you study, you study, you understand it, and then you can go ahead and just apply it on the field.
That makes sense. Okay. So now this is a stunt pickup, and I just want some veteran insight. How do you identify the stunts quickly? How do you pass them off? How do you properly pick them up?
Yeah. No, everyone's probably got different patterns. Some teams rely more heavily on certain patterns, and they kind of show up repeatedly week after week. Number one is knowing who you're going to and how we're handling this. With two guys bugged up, two backers bugged up. Looks like we're just going, the basic, the basic 5-0 there. And so Latu's a little tighter than normal. He usually doesn't like to play that way. And so my set, even right there, is more of a, wouldn't even really call it a set. It's just kind of get to balance and then kind of let things happen in front of me. I can feel 44's demeanor. So he doesn't go anywhere right away. I can see that for first half second of the play. And then boom, as I see Latu start crossing my face, go ahead and power down. Try to extend as much as I can to go ahead and not give K Dot a fastball there. Probably leaned a little bit too much on that, but then caught 44, who was our, K Dot's original assignment, wrapping back around, same thing. Even if I lag him a little bit, I can get on
What does
that.
that mean?
Lag him is basically let him get upfield, so he's got one way to go. He can't go back inside
Oh,
because I'm standing there. So his only
yeah.
course of action would be to go upfield. Okay, boom, reach out, hand to the shoulder, hand to the hip, and then to start driving. They can't run the hoop if the hips are constantly being pushed out. Their whole
Yeah.
thing, they want to drop and turn and get those hips through. So go get a hand on that thing, shove him out. Sorry, Blake. You know, ran him into his guy, but that's just
You get that hand on the hip, and then like you get the pressure moving more outside, right? So
yep.
he can't get back to the inside.
No, he can't drop his weight and turn that corner.
Oh, I gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm pushing on his hip, and so if he's trying to run this way, I'm pushing at this angle.
I gotcha.
So I'm
Okay,
not
that
trying to,
makes total sense.
yeah, I'm not trying to push where he's running to because it's almost going to speed him up a little bit. I want to push almost directly upfield and then just kind of catch my feet. So when he starts making that turn, it's almost like on a pig on ice where he kind of starts widening out and widening out.
Yeah, yeah. It's like he's drifting
Yeah,
almost.
exactly.
Okay. So then this play, we got two examples. It's the RPO on the goal line where you got the tight end coming across. I mean, Devontae Adams, good Lord. This was just unstoppable. Can you tell me all the inside info about this play? However much you're willing to
Sure.
share. I want to hear it all because I watched you guys run this 3 times against the Saints, and
Hmm.
then you just kept running it, and I was just like, good Lord, what is going on?
Yes. So this was kind of new to us to having like a true red zone massive threat where it's like we are really throwing these kind of check with me's. Like to us it's just called a run, and so
Yeah.
it's like, is it being thrown, is it not? It's Matthew Stafford and Devontae Adams. Like, of course they want to throw. We want to throw touchdowns, but it's like it was so automatic and so advantageous for us. It's like, why wouldn't you right here? So Matthew's looking out, and he sees the safety gets back and doesn't quite get there in time. So he's like, all right, well, if you're not going to respect that, I'm just going to go ahead and beat you with a throw, and I'm going to go let my guy make a play. But for us, it's just called a run. So we're
Yeah.
we're kind of basically, it's kind of, how do we block this run just in case it gets hands off, but it probably shouldn't, but it
Yeah.
might, type thing. So
Do you worry about going downfield?
yes, yeah. So we got called in the second Seattle game
Yeah.
for illegal lineman downfield, which
It was to the tight end, that corner out.
I still don't believe that should have been called because as long as you're connected with your defender and you're downfield, you're fine. So I can be 7 yards downfield.
Yeah, if you never disconnect, you're good.
Exactly. But the reason the second Seattle game, he got thrown late. So
It was the backup guard, wasn't it? It was right after K-Dot got injured.
yeah. So and Dietzen, who did a great job, or yeah, Dietzen who came in and did a great job for us. It was just kind of one of those unlucky scenarios where he got thrown real late and he's just kind of on the ground and someone sees a lineman on the ground and he's that must be downfield. It's like Of course I'm gonna stick up for my guys. So my biases are pretty high on holding and stuff like that. But for that one, but for the Saints one and that, it's let's take our combinations, let's start them really well, let the second level almost come to us within that kind of buffer zone, and then go get connected. So if it does hand off, we have guys on guys, and Kyron, he's just such a great back, and Blake too, where they can go ahead and make some people miss because we're all connected. We might not have the big push downfield that we want, but there's body on the body.
What would you say the key to that goal line play is, Devontae?
Yeah, Devontae and Matthew. Matthew can put the ball wherever he wants, and then Devontae's got such a feel for those things where it's almost something you just can't teach. Like
Yeah.
he's shown it throughout his whole career. Stud. It's just his releases, his quickness, the way he sees the game, the way he sees defenders. It's special.
All right, so now we work into part 3, the run blocking. These are our final few plays. And here's just a base block out. I feel like this is a harder block than you make it look here than I think a lot of people would think, just because there's a lot of room. Like, there's so much space to work. This is kind of also just serves as a general overall run blocking advice question. But walk me through this play, the technique, run blocking overall.
Sure, especially a wide guy like that, but it still comes down to who are you playing. It's always KYP. Know your personnel. Like, who are you playing? How do they play these blocks? If that's Max Crosby, I'm not usually taking off like that because it's going to be a 1-2 shake and big arm over either way. But with this being an outside line or a linebacker walk down up on the ball on like a 6-1 defense, I know they're playing gaps, so he has his gap. So the more aggressive I am on an inside-out track, I don't want to overreach him, and he just decides to make a play back inside. Same thing, kind of in the pass pro. I'm taking my angle basically through his face mask, and then I want to get to my aiming point late. I don't want to start at my aiming point because then I'll be too.
What's your aiming point?
Aiming point is probably that play side shoulder.
Inside shoulder, gotcha.
Well. No, play side shoulder. We want to go ahead and get some, that outside shoulder. We want to get some stretch.
Wait, this one?
Yeah. So the idea is if my hat's over there, he's going to feel threatened in his gap where it is, and he's going to move himself further away.
Oh, to the outside?
To the outside. And so.
Oh, to basically try and fight against you pushing to the inside.
Exactly.
I got you. So that's fighting against basically the coaching of the other players.
Explain.
You know what I'm saying? Like against their technique, it's fighting against how they've been coached.
Yep. They have their gap, and if I'm threatening their gap by going a little wide, which is just past his face mask, basically, then he can't see the ball right now. So what does he got to do? He's got to either disengage or hop his feet back outside. That gives me more lateral room. I'm not really trying to reach him. If it happens like that, there's plenty of it this past season with our tackles doing it, where we can go ahead and stop, turn and try to pit them and just take what the defense gives us. But I'm trying to use their rules against them to make my life easier.
That's incredible. That is something that I would have never thought of in a million years, but that is one awesome little nuance of run blocking.
Yep.
Thank you for sharing that.
Of course.
All right. So here we work into an inside zone, or whatever this is. This isn't a zone, but you get the guard pulling around,
Yep.
and you seal to the inside and then peel off. I've been seeing more and more teams use this. I've been seeing the usage increase. When was the first time you ran this type of block? How do you run it? When does it get used? Why does it get used?
Yeah, so it's kind of adding numbers back to the party. So if you can pull a guard and wrap a tight end, the idea is you got really good angles on your combo blocks on the front side between 77 and 73 there. You know, they're not going to 39 where they'd have to get peeled off now. You know what I mean? They're going to zero
Yeah.
where they can spend all that time working on Fatu, I believe, 91.
Yeah, 91.
Yep. And then so that gives them a little more. Oh, that's Bo Limit there, not Steve. Okay. Yeah. Sorry. Thought it was Steve. Doesn't matter. Our left guard. And then so basically, and then you get, big K dot rolling to kick out these up the field DNs first, and so there's a little bit more vertical ground there too. If he was rather than DN just kind of skating down the line of scrimmage, and then you pull the Davis Allen around, get fit, and then basically for me, all backside I'm trying to do is stop Sheldon Rankins' upfield charge. Two hands to his chest plate. I know I got time getting back to 92. He's so wide and so up the field where I don't have to worry about really speeding everything up to try and get my job done. So I'm go ahead and checking off for the center, make sure he can get up there and there's not a bunch of upfield penetration, and then I'm just hinging back, finding 92 wherever he happens to go.
But the purpose of this block is essentially to just make the center's block back on the three tech easier.
Yeah, I mean, if I didn't step down and 90 just decided to roll and chase the guard, man, that's a long day for the center. So
yeah, very long.
I got time.
And he would have to take a huge negative step right where the guard's pulling too.
Exactly, and you've seen it enough on film where if they leave that guy alone, especially if it's like a kind of a power pass or something like that, and that three just decides to scream upfield, there is literally nothing the center can do. He's too far away. This is almost a 4-eye.
This is. I was about to say this is definitely a 4-eye. What would you do if he was like truly a three technique? Like if he was lying there, are you still helping out there?
Yep, still helping out. I got a ton of time. That's a wide 9 off an off the ball tight end, so I got a ton of time. Even if he was a 2 tech, I'd still try to get down there and get a hand on him.
What if it's like that?
I'd go real fast.
You'd go fast? Okay.
Yeah. So it might be more of just one step in hand to where maybe I can kind of chill the defensive tackles, kind of rush upfield, and then if I have to get back, I have to get back because at the end of the day, you got to do your job.
Okay, makes sense. Makes sense. I love learning all this stuff, man. All right, so now this is another rep against Sheldon Rankins, and this is combo blocks. Sheldon Rankins, awesome defensive tackle. I'm sure you faced him throughout the years.
Yep.
You can comment maybe a little on him, even though you guys dominate him here. But Rams have always been great at combo blocks, so two-parter. How good is Sheldon Rankins, and also, how are you guys so damn good at combo blocks?
Yeah, number one, Sheldon's a great player. He's been playing in the league a long time, and there's a reason. Played him a lot when he was at the Saints. He's a great explosive player. He's got good wiggle in the pass game. Very stout, and honestly, although K Dot gave him a great shot here, my finish needs to be better in order to keep him off. That should have been enough movement where I can go ahead and seal him off and not let him get in on this tackle. You can see my head kind of turned back, and as I'm watching the ball carrier, and that's kind of a offensive line no, and so that's one of the ones I would have watched on Monday and been like, man, because that's just effort, and that kind of eats at you as an offensive lineman, and be like my effort wasn't good enough there, and that's 100% on me, and it eats at you, but the play started really well in terms of getting to the defensive tackle, but the reason, no, I won't get into that. That's further on down the road. But we're good at combinations because one, we care about it, and two, we work it a lot.
You do.
Honestly, I would say K Dot here helps me too much with where zero is. He's already out leveraged towards the play. I don't need all that help.
Yeah,
because that's why that cut needs to happen so soon, because zero's down in the hole. K-Dot's trying to get a hand on. We're almost flirting with a block in the back there. And so that's just kind of like K-Dot helping a little bit too much, being too good of a guy. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, you have to get your job done. Trust me to cut this 3 technique off. Even if K-Dot would have just left, it's still my job to cut him off. So trust me to go ahead and do that. If we were going to 5 here, Petrie, hey, hit him that heavy all day. But we're not.
Yeah.
We're going to 0. And same thing. As the motion starts going across, what's the second level response? Everyone shifts on a string. So he started kind of head up and kind of close. And as it started going across. They move, they move. He's getting further away, so that should have changed our timing of the combo.
Gotcha. That makes total sense. So I want to cover just real quick. We're almost running out of time, but I mean, this is just gorgeous. The step in from both of you, the way you close those hips, it is the Rams. I see it all the time. What drill do you guys do to practice for those kind of combo blocks and the feet coming together like that? It is gorgeous.
Yeah, it's practicing what you just said, and then making our reps, which are limited in practice, just because of time constraints, making them count. And it's player ownership across the board. It's me working with K Dot, and then if it's something I don't like, with me being the leader of that room, last year it's like, hey man, this is great and all, this is too much. You need to get going.
Gotcha.
If it's he's leaving me too much, and it's like, dude, we got time. Where are you going? K Dot is should have been an All Pro this year. Unbelievable player, very receptive, and he's just such a force on the line of scrimmage. It was a true blessing to play next to him, man.
That's awesome. Okay. We're moving to our last three. So here you get a power step. Can you explain the difference between the power step and the combo blocks?
Yeah, so this one I want to say, if you were to ask my O line coach, I probably should have been on a tray block with our tight end Higby there on Sebastian Joseph Day 69. I saw the three tech and I was like, eh. The way I was taught in Wisconsin and kind of any gap scheme where it's like inside takes precedence. So I was like, man, he's
Yeah.
a three. I got a three right there. I got to go help on. So I was taking more of a timer step to be like, did 69 slant hard? If he did, I would have stayed out there on the
Oh,
tram. So I probably, or a tray or whatever. I probably called Trey and then, hey, alert into this combo between me and the guard. So I'm taking a timer. 69 doesn't slant. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna go slam this three technique. You'd like to see it a little bit lower on the hip. Same thing, hips move people, shoulders almost kind of see how K Dot gets knocked off.
yeah.
It's because I'm hitting him too high. If I was down there on the hip, I would have gotten his feet out of the way. K Dot wouldn't have gotten a ricocheted off, and then we would have been up and rolling.
Interesting. God, this is so awesome. I love all the insight you're sharing. Okay. Now we have the wide receiver run blocking. This one is a pretty good example. You get Puka inserting up into the C gap. You get Jordan Whittington inserting up into the C gap. How does that impact how you block when you have the wide receivers involved?
Yeah, so this is a great example of what not to do as a Rams offensive tackle when this type of fold scheme is going. I should be going out more aggressive, basically clearing space for 88 to get around me. I knew this thing was happening. I probably had a little bit of doubt of like, God, he's just a wiggly guy. So it's like I don't want to go too far aggressive and then go ahead and get shook. I was same thing. I was still kind of dealing with that ankle injury, and I didn't quite trust my change of direction at the time. So it's like, all right, let's just put my big body in the hole and then hopefully let him go two hands into me where I can kind of grab and go. But same thing, he falls off, gets in on the tackle on the backside of this play, kind of can't happen. And that's one that you're going to see on Monday and be like, golly, that stunk.
Gotcha. Okay. So then this is our last play, and this has a pre-snap audible involved. Now, he's obviously going to a jet sweep, ends up, I believe this goes to Whittington,
Yep.
but you change your stance.
Yep.
When he switches into the jet sweep, you change your stance. I'm assuming that has to do with the jet sweep because it goes to your side. You got to hit this reach block on Will. But, I mean, are you not worried at all that that's tipping the play?
Well, yes, but what play? I'll try to do this enough on most other plays that it doesn't matter. To where it's like he doesn't quite know what's going on. I tried to sell it a little bit. If you go back earlier, when he cans it, turn around, go palms up, and say, "Hey, what the hell's the play? I don't know what I'm doing." All right, let me set my feet back down. So I tried selling it a little bit, but if you look out, I mean, he's a wide nine, hands down. He's going forward, and forward in this play is the worst possible thing for me. So it's like, man, in order to get my job done, I feel like I can't do it out of this stance. I'd rather have him know, and then we just try to race to that spot as fast as possible.
Yeah.
And then in other situations of the game, maybe I'll kind of do something a little similar, and then have something where it's not, I'm just on the backside of a play and I'm just trying to play a mind game. But I know for
I
this one,
gotcha.
I got to haul ass out there to this thing, make sure he doesn't get a ton of up the field penetration that's going to blow up this jet sweep. So that's why it's a full take that step, crossover, head down. Hey, if he goes inside, the play's gone. I need to give this thing a chance. And so the only way I could do that on a player, especially of a caliber as Will Anderson, is I got to get on my horse and I got to go.
That is some ridiculous trust from Stafford and you to audible to that play.
Yep. Not not an audible, just a can.
Oh, yeah.
So just one of those. Hey, you, you get the look you want. You want to run this other play. Hey, everyone does it. Kill, kill, can, whatever it is. And it was like it just got to the point where I was like, man, he's far out there. He's going up the field. I got to roll. I don't care. Screw it. I'm going feet flat. But if if you go back to some of those other plays where it's like some of the other pass protection, my feet were like that too. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And then it turns out it's a play action pass. And then it turns out it's that kind of tight zone at me. So it's like I try to match a lot of my different stances based on what I was trying to do, and kind of the same thing there. I had a low ankle sprain like twice in that game. One was really early, so I was like that was kind of bothering me, and then so it was like
You had two sprains in one game.
yeah, I got obviously bad ankles, so it was just kind of one of those where it like hit just boom right back, and I was like crap, that's gonna hurt. And then I did it again. I was like, you gotta be kidding me, man.
That's
Week
terrible.
one, Will Anderson. And the Houston defense, I mean, we didn't know they were going to be as special as they were. We knew they were going to be damn good. We didn't know they were going to be as special as they were that year. So, but that's life in the trenches in the NFL. Shit hurts. Find a way. A lot of those clips that you see with my ankle was more survival than anything. I knew I couldn't get into positions where I could have in the past and then stop my body and then just plays over. So I knew a lot of them needed to be, hey, if I'm gonna die, I'm gonna die slow, and just basically try to die slow as much as possible.
Did all the technique that you learned throughout your career help your performance when you had that ankle injury?
Yeah, because it allowed me to be as flexible as I could for doing
Gotcha.
something where you need to be almost as perfect as possible, and so it wasn't an ideal thing. And even out there, the games I probably wasn't even anywhere close to 80%. I mean, I remember driving to some games just being like, man, I'm gonna freaking suck today. Like I can't. This thing
Yeah.
hurts, and all the drugs in the world to try and help, all the rehab and whatnot, all legal and all that, but just trying to try to get myself back to a level where I knew I needed to be. And so when I was out there, it was almost just kind of figure stuff out in practice. Like, hey, what positions hurt? What positions are okay? What positions can I just not get in anymore? My body won't allow it. And then have the fluidity to basically put myself in advantageous positions as much as possible based on my film study and everything like that.
That makes sense. Well, those are all my questions for you. I am so appreciative that you came on and did this film breakdown. You taught me a lot about offensive line, so I really appreciate it. It was absolutely awesome to break down some film, so thank you very much.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me on, Peter.